in his ardent desire to give himself completely to God, walled himself up in a cave and trusting his survival upon God and the goodness of others. This he did at the top of a steep hill near Lycopolis, Egypt, and carved 3 small cells out of rock. He slept in one, used another for work and living space, and prayed in the third. Then he walled these cells up with himself inside and lived this way until he died in his 90s. This man is St. John of Egypt. John was born in Egypt around the year 305, and spent his early adult years as a carpenter. When he was 25, he left everything to seek God in the desert with prayer. He spent a decade with a hermit, taking direction from him and learning self-surrender. The hermit, for example, had him water a dry stick every day for a year. John learned obedience and humility, and when the hermit died, John traveled and visited other monasteries for 5 years. He left a small window through which he could speak to people and receive food and water they might bring him. He only ate after sunset, and his diet was mostly dried fruit and vegetables, nothing cooked over a fire. He spent 5 days a week in conversation with God alone, and 2 days a week, he conversed with people seeking spiritual direction and advice. Crowds would gather on those 2 days to hear him preach. John was given the gift of seeing the future and knowing details from the lives of people he had never met. He could discern what was secretly hidden in people's hearts. Foreseeing his own death, he asked that no one visit him for 3 days, and he sealed off his window. He died peacefully, and his body was found in a position of prayer. He was known and admired by the great saints of his time, including St. Augustine and St. Jerome. The cell he lived in was discovered in the early 1900s.